There we go. Okay. Welcome everybody to our Kids and Oils class. This is Thursday, April 28th. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're almost into May already. This year for me has absolutely flown by. But yeah, anyway, I'm Andrea Lehman, been with Young Living for 15 years almost. This fall will be 15 years. Absolutely have fallen in love with these products, with this lifestyle, with the community. And so really privileged to have met lots of wonderful people in the last 15 years. One of those people being the lovely Michelle Phillips, who is joining us tonight. Michelle, we haven't known each other that long. I would say maybe we met maybe 2 years ago.
It hasn't been super long. Yeah.
I feel like all things of the last 2 years has like messed up timelines for me. Where I'm like, how long ago was that? I don't know. The last 2 years all kind of like rolled together into a year. So she has been a recent friend, a fellow foodie for sure, and just such a bright, positive spirit. She's the mom of 4 girls. I know the names of a couple of them, but I'm not going to get all 4 right, so I'm not going to try. I know the baby's Emerald, right? Do I have that right?
Yes, you got that right.
And she has 3 other lovely girls. So it is a house full of girls. I don't know if I want to say your poor husband, because you have Young Living products now that's going to totally help during the teenage years.
100%. Yeah.
I'm just going to put that out there right now. So she is going to share a little bit. She was just telling me that she has her dogs barking in the laundry room. So she was a little stressed about that. I told her, you do not need to be stressed about that, because we are all moms on this call and we all have 1,000 things going on. So we're just coming as we are. Going to be real. I know that she has a lot of beautiful things to share with you guys tonight. I would encourage you to get like a notebook, something, because there's going to be things that you're going to want to write down. So if you don't have that, maybe grab, some paper and a pen. I'm going to ask a few questions throughout the night. So I'm going to just interrupt briefly. Michelle, ask a question. You'll throw it into the chat and we're going to do a few product credit giveaways. All right. With that, I think that we will get started. So take it away, Michelle.
All right. So guys, thank you so much for getting on and having me. It's going to take me just a minute here to get my screen shared here. So bear with me and we will get started. While I am doing that, I know Andrea just asked you guys a question to put in the chat, but I'm also so curious, like where everybody is watching from. So I know that I have a few people here. Let's see. Let me know real quick, Andrea. Am I?
You're good. Yep, we're seeing it.
Oh wait, we need to get this playing.
So as I'm looking at the chat, we have boys, 9, 26, and 29. Mom of 3 sons. Would be 33. Daughter 32. Special needs daughter. Favorite oil for her is Gentle Baby. Let's see. Thieves. We have Lakewood, Colorado in the house. Arizona. Peoria, Arizona. I'm watching from Georgia tonight.
Oh, so fun. Yeah, I'm in Peoria, Arizona also. It's a little bit warmer, but the evenings are still kind of nice. So hanging on to those while we can before the summer hits. All right. Well, welcome everybody. If you're just getting on, I am Michelle Phillips. I have been using Young Living, since 2016. So it's been a little bit, and I'm just super grateful to have Young Living oils and Young Living products. Just quick introduction. I am a mama. Obviously, this is a picture of us at the Lavender Farm in Mona, Utah. This is 2 of my 4 girls. So we have 4 girls. We have Millie, who is 12. We have Vera, who is 5. We have Ruthie, who is 3, and Emerald, who is 10 months. I shouldn't say little. She's my big girl. She's my big, chunky, sweet girl. So having, these girls, this house full of girls is so much fun, super chaotic, definitely crazy at times, lots of laughter, lots of tears, lots of things going on, which, brings me into the next topic of having ways to support all the things, right? So we are needing to support their emotions. Their big emotions, their tiny brains and big emotions, right? We see a lot of that. Spiritually, we use these oils to support them. Physically, we use these oils to support them. So this is just where they come into play. And tonight we're just going to get focused on some of our favorite ways as a family to use these oils, and just the ways that we we have found that work. There are lots of ways that these oils work. There's lots of moms on here who I'm sure could talk all about it too, but I'm going to share some of our favorite ways. And let me just push to the next slide here. There we go. Okay, so this is just a picture of our family. Before we dive into the class, I just wanted to share a little bit about our story, how we got started with Young Living. I am forever grateful to my dear friend, Katie Strong, who I think she's on here tonight. She introduced me to this oily lifestyle, like I said, back in 2016. 2016 was like a really big year for me personally. I had just graduated dental hygiene school. So I got a full-time job working. 2016 was the year that I married my husband. 2016 was the year I became pregnant with Vera. We were going to be buying a house soon, like lots of big life changes going on. New chapter, right? It was a new chapter of my life. And I was also introduced to Young Living during this time. So like for me, it was very much on purpose. Thank you, God. Like I needed this. I'm about to take over, like manage a home, right? Take care of little ones, have a husband to care for. And I just so happened was introduced to these oils at that same time. So Katie, I love you. I love you. I love you. She's a dear friend of mine. We were going to church together, and my oldest, who's 12 now, she was 6 at the time. She was in need of some support for her body temperature. Okay. So I was using some over-the-counter meds and they just weren't really doing the job. And Katie had offered me a sample of peppermint oil. Let me just tell you, my knowledge of peppermint, my knowledge of peppermint along with essential oils was like, it came from a plant, period. Like I didn't have any knowledge on essential oils. And so when she comes to me and was like, here, try this peppermint, to help support Millie's temperature, I was like, okay, like sure, like what is this stuff? And at the same time though, I had nothing to lose. It was natural. She had this confidence that was like, this is gonna work. So I was like, okay, I like that. So I took that sample of peppermint and she had advised me, all right, rub it along her spine, on the bottoms of her feet, and then just kind of watch and wait and like see what's going on. So I waited about 20 minutes or so and I checked her temperature again, and much to know more. I wanted to get my hands on everything that I could. I just started doing my own research. I started plugging into classes online. I started watching videos, with the LWN lifestyle. I started just showing up in person classes, all that. And so I'm now like at a place in my journey where I just feel like I need to share this with other people, especially other moms, like moms of babies who like, what's more important, right, than these gifts that God gave us? And to be able to support them with these oils has been a true blessing for our family. And so that's why I'm on here tonight, just to be able to share. So thank you so much for being on and for listening. And I hope you have a couple of takeaways. Feel free to ask questions throughout. But we are going to So why I chose Young Living. All right. So essential oils are like a total thing right now, right? You can see them, you can find them at the gas station, you can find them at TJ Maxx, you can find them at, gosh, you name it, they're kind of everywhere. But I will say that not all essential oils are created equally. Please don't use those ones. Why I chose Young Living, this business or Young Living has been in business for 27 years. They are a global company of over 2 billion in sales. They have over 700 plant-based products. Okay. These are all formulated without toxins, you guys. When I first started using Young Living essential oils, I thought it was just essential oils. Like I wasn't really aware that they had all these non-toxic products as well. And so being able to get my hands on those has been amazing. And it's just been another easy button to press, right? Young Living is a one-stop shop for our family, as well as a lot of families. We don't have to spend time or, waste time really reading labels. It's just order what we need for our family and, go from there, like move on. What's next? We have a million things going on as moms. So they also have something that they call the seed to seal quality or guarantee. So this just means that from the moment that that seed is planted in the ground to then when it's harvested and distilled and then in your home eventually nothing is tampered with, nothing is added, nothing is messed with.
Okay, is she cutting out for you guys?
It is.
I think you cut out there for a minute, Michelle.
Oh shoot, is that better?
It's okay. Yeah, now we're hearing you fine. It should, every once in a while it's cutting out. The other times it's been super short. That was just for a little bit. So
Okay.
Continue on. We're still good. I just wanted to make sure you're still there. We're good.
Okay. Yep. All right. Awesome. Let me know. So Young Living Farms, they definitely stand apart in the essential oil industry. They set the standard for planting. They set the standard for growing, harvesting, distilling, and producing those essential oils that eventually end up in your home. And as the world leader in essential oils, they are constantly expanding their farms, they're improving their farms, all while staying true to that commitment of their seed to seal standard. And I wanted to share something also, which is really amazing. Young Living spends it's about 12,000 per acre to hand weed their Mona, Utah lavender farm. Okay. It would be a lot more cost effective for them and a lot easier to just pay like $60 per acre to throw some herbicides on there, right? But this just lets you know what kind of company they are. A ton of integrity. I also just personally appreciate being able to literally visit any of their farms any day of the week. They have that open door policy. Come on in, let us show you our farming practices. We want you here. We want to show you what we do. I got curiosity, like, can I come visit your farm? Can I come see your practices? And with the answer being no, it's just told me kind of all I need to know. So I'm just grateful for Young Living and their transparency. And again, an amazing easy button to get, everything that you need in one place. All right, next slide. Okay, so these are just some tips and precautions that I wanted to share with you all. Am I still okay? Can you hear me? Okay. Because my thing's popping up that my internet connection is a little bit low. But anyway, tips and precautions. So start slow, right? We're talking about our precious babies, especially if you're new to oils. Take it slow, start on the feet. And as you continue to use oils, you become more comfortable and you begin to see just what works for you, what works for your babes. All right. So diluting, it's always smart to start with dilution. And that just means that you're going to be using a carrier oil along with that essential oil. You're still going to be getting all those medicinal benefits, but it's going to be kind of at a slower rate, which is more appropriate for little ones. Some examples of carrier oils are listed right here. V6, coconut oil, jojoba. There's lots out there. I personally love the Young Living's V6. I like the way it feels. It's not super greasy. So we love that one, but everyone has their preference. The dilution ratio typically is about 1:30 on infants. Avoid using citrus oils on sun exposed skin. So kind of a fun, no, it's a funny story, but it's a story. My nephew, so my sister, her son was playing football. He was in a football league and he was going out. We're in Arizona. The sun is always shining. And, she was putting oils on him. She uses oils like a crazy woman. So they're on him all the time, but she sent him out to football and she kept putting orange right behind his ears. So orange is a very uplifting oil. And that just got him out there. He was participating. He was having a great time. But she started to notice these dark, circles behind his ears. And for a couple of weeks, she didn't realize that it was the orange. It was like, what is that? Like, what's showing up? And then eventually it hit her. So anyway, don't put citrus on and then go out in the sun. Just don't do that. And then if you have any rash or irritation, just stop using the oil, wash it, put a carrier oil on it, and then maybe try again with a heavier dilution. Use common sense too. I mean, a lot of times when we're like introduced to something new, we're like, oh my gosh, someone needs to tell me exactly what to do. What do I do? I don't know what to do. Like, use common sense. It takes a lot of oil to actually do any harm. Just keep the oils up, keep them out of reach, especially those wintergreen.
Until she comes back, I'll say be careful with wintergreen. You don't want to use that on little ones. Peppermint is another one that you're going to want to avoid.
Eucalyptus, peppermint.
Okay, I was covering for you because it went out again for a second.
Oh shoot. Okay,
we're good.
Thank you.
Keep going.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Andrea. All right, so let's just start with the home. Okay, so I wanted to chat a little bit about the home environment before we got into the oils, because what we let into our home matters, you guys. We are the gatekeepers of our home, right? What we let in, what we push out is very important. And when it comes to kids too, like the things that we're using, what we're washing their bodies with, what lotions we're using, what we're washing their clothes with, it matters. Kiddo skin that's a lot more permeable.
Kids' skin is a lot more permeable. Now, we just want to be very careful with the ingredient list, because really 70% of what we put on our skin gets into our bodies and is going to get in intercellularly. And then we have a buildup, and it's that bioaccumulation of all of those chemicals in our system that starts to do things that we don't want to happen. So this Thieves line is huge for that. I love that I can put my kiddos to work with the Thieves cleaner. They can scrub down their counters in their bathroom, their toilets, everything, and I don't have to worry about them having really dangerous chemicals that they are exposed to. And shoot, now we don't have the PowerPoint. My guess is that she's gonna have to get back on. Maybe if she goes to another area in her house, things will be okay. So here's what I want to, until she's back on, those of you, there's 21 of us on, and a lot of us who have a lot of experience using oils. So let's turn this into a fun, like, oh, you're back on. Michelle? No? Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of like testimonial time right now while you're getting the PowerPoint back on. You're totally good. Okay, so if you have a story of how you have used any of the Young Living products with your kiddos and you would be willing to share, let's do that until Michelle's ready. Who has a story that they would share? You'll have to unmute yourself.
I do. This is Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. Okay, so
Katie, you're muted. Did you accidentally remute yourself, Katie?
okay, now can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so my first like gateway oil and like, oh my goodness, these things really work. Jake was about 9 months old at the time, had a red bum, and we were brand new to oils, really didn't know anything about them, but I remember lavender being good for skin. So I took a drop of lavender, tiny little bit of coconut oil, and rubbed on his bum. And by the next diaper change, it was like 70% gone. So much so that my husband was like, wow, these things actually work.
I remember that story too.
Yes.
Okay, so I think Michelle's back on. So what we're gonna do right now in the chat, if you are using oils already, you have a story, throw your story, like what you used, in the chat. If you are new and you're like, I haven't used these on my kids yet, what is one like solution you're looking for? Throw that into the chat. We're gonna do a giveaway in just a little bit here, and I'll be randomly choosing somebody from the answers in the chat. Okay, let's see how we are, Michelle. We good?
Hey, oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. You guys can hear me now. We good?
Technology. It's
all right. Technology. Okay. So again, just talking about the home, what we bring in, it's super important. I just wanted to read something to you guys really quick. Here we go. 62 toxic chemicals are in the average home. Over 72,000 synthetic chemicals have been produced since World War II. 72,000 synthetic chemicals. Only 2% of those chemicals have been tested for safety. Wow. One of the best things that you can do for your health, you guys, is just like learn to read labels and just make those swaps over time if you haven't already. That cumulative toxic burden is something that is impacting so many people, yet so many people are unaware of it, right? They're unaware of what they're ingesting, what they're breathing in, what they're putting on their bodies every single day. So unfortunately, of those 72,000 chemicals, most of them are endocrine disruptors, carcinogens, and our kids just deserve so much better. Our kids, our babies, they deserve so much better. So the positive thing to that is that we, again, can control what comes into our home, and we can control what goes out of our home. So it's pretty amazing that Young Living has this thieves line, it's that picture here on the slide. All the cleaning products that you would need, and it makes it really simple too, right? So they have laundry detergent, they have hand soap, they have dish soap, they have it all. They have a thieves concentrate, which is highly concentrated, but that's all we use. We make little spray bottles, and that's what we're using to spray down our kitchen counters, to clean our bathrooms, our windows. It's really, really amazing, and there's no toxins in it, so it's plant-based. I'll never forget actually, like when I was making that switch. So I started using oils and then got more into like switching and like ditching things out of the home. And Vera, who's 5 now, she must have been, she was crawling around putting things in her mouth. So she was probably like 8, 9 months, something like that. And I had this like idea that I was going to use up everything we had toxic. And then once I was done using all the toxic stuff, once we ran out, then I was going to switch over to the non-toxic thieves line. And so I'm like, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I had some thieves stuff and then mostly toxic stuff. And so I remember one day in particular, she was on the ground and I look at her and she had a tube of toothpaste in her mouth with the cap open. And I just like grabbed it, right? I'm like, wait, and it was like Crest or Colgate or something, it was not Young Living. And real quick, I'll also go on another tangent, but that like when you flip a toothpaste tube over, it says if ingested, call poison control. So like that is pretty ridiculous. I'll say that's a product that goes in your mouth, right? So it was that moment I remember being like, what am I doing? Like, get it out, get the toxic stuff out. I took a big black trash bag and I went from room to room. I started in the laundry room. The laundry room happens to be the most toxic room in your house, FYI. Started in the laundry room and I just started throwing stuff in the trash bag. Went to the bathrooms. I just went around the house and I started getting rid of everything. I toyed with the idea of like donating it, but I would be poisoning other people. So I decided to throw it in the trash. And that was the most liberating feeling, just getting rid of it, out with the old, in with the new. So we talk about getting rid of stuff in our home, right? But we also need to talk about what goes into your body. So I get super excited when I see Ningxia Red. Anybody else? Like this, yeah, this stuff is gold. It's amazing. It's probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Young Living supplement. It is super, super high in antioxidants. It's a whole food, whole body supplement. It helps all the systems, supports all the systems in your body. My girls love, love, love Ningxia Red. It is not only good for you, it tastes amazing. The main ingredient is the Ningxia wolfberry. It also has like blueberries, pomegranate, plum, just really, really high antioxidant fruits in it. But we take this every single day. We take about an ounce daily. If our bodies are under weather or we need extra support, then we will take some more. We'll up it to maybe 2-3 ounces. When I was pregnant, I was actually taking like 5 or 6 ounces a day. So really wanted a healthy baby. But Ningxia Red is amazing. So if you are not drinking it daily, I highly recommend it. And then also this next slide here is just a quick breakdown of the cost. Just to give you an idea, I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's expensive, but if you really break it down, it's really not. And for the benefits that you're getting for yourself, the benefits that your babies are getting, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. Okay, so this beautiful picture is actually my friend Katie's oil wall. This is just a fraction of her oils. This is just a fraction of what she has, but talking about the mama toolbox, right? So we talked about like the home, talked about that Ningxia Red. Let's get a little bit more into the oils and how they can support our kiddos. So she says it best too. She says, if you're mommying without oils, then you're mommying too hard. If you're daddying without oils, you're daddying too hard. If you're whatever-ing without oils, you're doing it too hard. So definitely turn to your mama toolbox of oils. All right, ways to use oils. So I love this picture so much of Ruthie smelling out of the diffuser. Oh, they just grow too fast. So the first way that we'll talk about is to diffuse. Diffusing it, I mean, aromatherapy has been around for centuries. You guys, like when inhaled, the scent molecules in the oils travel from the olfactory nerves to the brain and especially impact the amygdala, which is the emotional center of the brain. So they definitely work. They've been around forever. So get that diffuser going. A couple ways if you don't have a diffuser on hand is you can just put oils in your hand, put a couple drops, rub your palms together. Inhale, cup over your nose and your mouth, take that inhale in and you're getting those same benefits. You can teach your kids to do that. Our kiddos do it all the time. And then also cotton balls work as natural little diffusers too. So like we stayed the night at my dad's a while back and we put a little bundle of cotton balls with some oils and put it by the bedside for my daughter who needed a little extra respiratory support. So that's another option too. Topically is another way to use oils. So putting them directly on your skin. Again, dilution is important with the little ones, but try not to overthink, the topical application. If you have,
I'm like, how many seconds do we give her to come back? Okay.
I was gonna say I can share my screen, and then if she
Okay. Why don't we
gets out, then we can still move forward.
Perfect. All right.
Okay.
So let's see, ingestion. One of the things to know with oils is the labels will tell you if they're ones that can be ingested. So if there's a white label, those are the vitality oils, and those are labeled for ingestion, but you can know that they're counterparts. So like, for example, if you have a Digest Vitality and you have a Digest that has that kind of reddish, maroonish colored label, they're the same oil inside the bottle. The FDA just said that we could not label something for internal use and for topical use, but you can know that it's the same oil. So at your discretion, you can use the one that doesn't have the white label. But all of the ones that have a vitality counterpart can be used internally. And if you have the essential oils desk reference or mini reference, they will also tell you which ones. Most of them, majority of the oils can be taken internally, but use your reference guides for help with that. All right, Michelle. I think you're good.
Michelle, I shared my screen, so then we can keep moving forward in case you freeze. Oh, I think you're on mute.
I was confused. Okay, we're good.
Okay. Yep. So I'll take charge of the PowerPoint.
Okay, awesome. All right, so I think Andre just talked about ingestion.
Yeah.
I want to touch on massage also. So we love massage in our home, especially with our littles. It creates that connection, but also you're getting it on their bodies. The other night we were reading stories, and my 5-year-old, with growing comes some pains, right? Her little legs were aching, and so I took some oils, some copaiba and lavender to be specific, with some B6. rub down her legs, and about 4 or 5 minutes pass, and she says, "Mommy, my legs don't hurt anymore. The oils worked." And it was just like the most amazing moment. And we have those moments all the time, but it was special. And I love massage, creates that connection. Bath time. Also, we love to put like lavender drops in our bath. We also use the KidSense bath bombs. I also personally love doing like bath salts made with, oils. So they're definitely good for bath time also. And then we cook with them. Like Andrea was saying with the Vitality line, you can use those while you're cooking. We make banana bread often, and we'll put like some cinnamon in and some nutmeg, lime Vitality in our guac, lemon Vitality on our fish. So lots of ways that you can use the oils. Next. Can you hear me?
I can. It's just not moving.
I was like, am I out again?
Reason.
And I can't see can you guys see me or no?
Yes.
Okay, I can't see me, which is totally fine, but it's a little different. Okay, here we go. So some immune system must-haves. We just put together this list because these are some of our favorites to use. Thieves when you think or see thieves, just think all things immune support. We love to use it in the diffuser all the time, but when we have a bottle of Thieves and it's about half full, I love to add it with some B6 or fill it with some B6, top a roller top on it, and just use that to support their immune systems. Thieves has amazing immune support oils. It has clove, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. And so when we dilute it and put a roller, that's going on their spine, on the bottoms of their feet before we're sending them to school or the daycare at the gym or wherever. Tea tree is also a great oil to mix things up. It is fantastic. It's antiviral, antibacterial, anti so many things. What else is it? Let's see. B6 we also use obviously to dilute, and I have that right here. It's amazing. Frankincense is also another one that we love. It's very gentle. We use that kind of throughout the year. Kind of flush. You guys can still hear me now, right? I just can't see any faces, so it feels awkward. Am I good?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And then Inner Defense, that's another must-have. So that's actually a soft gel capsule. So that's great. We love using that, especially before we're like going on vacation to kind of prep and prime the immune system. And then recently our oldest, she needed some throat support. It was red, it was inflamed. There was some stuff going on back there. And so she can't take pills yet. I think she can, but she doesn't like the idea of it. And so I decided to poke a hole in it and break open that.
Okay, so one of the things that you can do with the Inner Defense is like cut the end of it, or poke a hole, I think is what she's going to say, and she probably
Inner Defense dilute.
Probably put it on the bottoms of the feet of her kiddo is my guess. You can also dilute it a little bit more and put it along the spine of your kiddos. It is already diluted, but it still can feel a little bit spicy, so I always dilute it more for my kids. Michelle, you there again?
You guys hear me?
Yeah, it was cutting out. So I just finished up about opening up Inner Defense and putting it on feet, or diluting it more and putting it on spine. What happened? So you did that for your kiddo. And
okay. Yes. So we did. That's exactly what we did. And then the next morning.
Okay.
So she woke up about 10 till.
Michelle, do you think there's another spot in your house you could move to? I don't know if you'll get any better reception anywhere else.
Yeah.
I'll keep talking. I'll talk about these 3 products really quickly maybe if you can find a place that seems more stable. Yeah. Sorry, I know it's so frustrating with technology. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Ningxia Red, you guys heard Michelle talk a little bit about that. There's a lot of things you can do with Ningxia Red with the kiddos, but it's such a good immune system support. So many stories within our community of kiddos who were really under the wellness line a lot of the year. And once they started drinking Ningxia daily, that was a huge impact on their overall health, boosting their immune system. So they weren't having to take days off of school anymore. One of my favorite things to do for my kiddos with the Ningxia Red is to get the packets of it, stick it in the freezer. And then in the summer, especially for those of you who live in Arizona, it's really hot. Then you just cut off the top of it. And it's a really natural, delicious popsicle that you can feel good about giving your kiddos. Peppermint, so you heard, I think she talked a little bit about peppermint and body temperature at the beginning. So if your kiddo is hot, you can once again dilute it. I don't recommend putting peppermint anywhere up around the face of really small children because the fumes of it are so strong, it can overwhelm the lungs if they had underdeveloped lungs. But definitely on the feet, on the spine, just always remember to dilute with little ones so that you can, see how sensitive their little bodies are. I know for my son, I rarely had to dilute. His skin just didn't react to anything. And with my daughter, even things like Peace and Calming would feel kind of burny on her skin. So I always had to dilute the oils before applying. All right. And then diffusing is one of the best things you can do, especially nighttime with the kids. Michelle, let me know when you're back. Nighttime with the kids is a great just habit to get into as you're tucking them in, getting something on that's going to help them to calm, that's going to help them to relax. There's so many choices for this. So you can experiment and see what seems to work best for your kiddos. I know that for our kids, when they were smaller, different oils worked the best for settling each of them. So it's just kind of having fun and experimenting and seeing what seems to work. All right. Respiratory go-tos. So all of these, myrtle, frankincense, sniffles, lemon, raven, and RC are all great choices for kiddos. So you can apply topically. You can make your own, oh goodness, somebody remind me, what is this stuff? Vicks vapor rub that we all probably used growing up ourselves. You can make your own natural, healthy version of Vicks vapor rub by using some of these oils. So just mixing a little bit in a jar with coconut oil, and then you can just take from that jar and apply right to the chest. It's going to be super calming. I want to say this to you guys, like, don't be scared of the oils on your kids. Like, there are the guidelines of like the 1:30 ratio for babies and things like that. Just use some carrier oil and let your kids dictate. Like, these are really safe products to use in comparison to any of the over-the-counter stuff that you would use on your children. So yes, dilute, but don't be so stressed like, oh my gosh, did I dilute it enough? Did I dilute it enough? You're going to be fine. And they'll tell you, like, if it feels a little bit itchy or burny, they'll let you know, like, okay, add some more carrier oil, mom, because that didn't feel so good. All right. So all of these are wonderful. I just was talking to a mom tonight, actually, whose little girl is under the weather. And so I was recommending frankincense for her. That was one of the oils she had on hand to apply to her chest for the cough that the little one was experiencing. All right, Michelle, are you back? Okay, let's talk owies and boo-boos. So inevitably, my guess is, this is my guess, okay, for all of you who have multiple children on the call tonight, one of your kids was very accident prone. At least I know in our house, I had one that was very cautious. It's usually the first child, right? And then my second kid, who just wants to keep up and is all over the place, she had bumps and bruises all of the time. I can remember one, I wish I had the picture to show you guys, where she fell on, like, the things you park against, the little bumper type white, I don't know what the official name is of them, but it's cement, where you park the car up against the white little stopper there. She stood onto that, and she was not quite two, lost her footing, fell. I heard it when her head hit the cement. And within seconds, she had a huge goose egg on her head. Huge, like so much so to where I like almost couldn't look at it because it was making me nauseous. So my sister was with me. We jumped in the car. My sister drove us to urgent care because I was concerned about a concussion. And I had with me Valor and Panaway. And I just started applying those two. Now, guys, she was under 2. I was applying Panaway straight because I didn't have a carrier oil with me. Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, don't stress about it. Use your carrier oils, but in a crisis, like, just use your oils. So I'm putting pan away, and I'm putting Valor like on, like every like 30 seconds, I'm applying another drop of oil and just rubbing it into this huge goose egg on her head. It's blue, like it's dark. We get to urgent care. We're in the waiting room for about 15 minutes, and finally we get to go back. By the time we were back seeing the doctor, it had already started to reduce in size. So it did not look as bad as it did. That was in the evening. Guys, I continue to apply. She checked out okay, no concussion. I continued to apply the oils that evening. She went to bed, woke up the next morning, and would you know that bruise was like a greenish yellow color in the morning, and her head was completely flat. It had reduced. We all know that greenish yellow color, that typically comes like several days later, right? Several days in that healing process of a bump or bruise. So I just love how the oils help to speed along that process and aiding the body and doing what it needs to do. So here is a list of some of the different oils and products that Young Living has that you might consider if your child falls and gets scraped, gets a bruise, gets an egg on their head, things like that. I particularly am fond of Melrose because it has a bit of a numbing sensation. So if they have hurt themselves and you want something that's going to be gentle on the skin, but also help to kind of numb it as it's cleaning it, Melrose is a really good choice to go to. Frankincense is good for everything. And then Helichrysum is really good at stopping bleeding. So it's a great choice after you've cleaned a wound to put some Helichrysum on to help that. And I could share many stories about Helichrysum and that. Michelle, are you back? Okay. So tummy troubles, tummy jize, digize. Mightyzyme is a kid's enzyme. So it's just a chewable, really tiny little tablet. So if your child is someone who has kind of chronic stomach issues, Mightyzyme would definitely be a supplement to look into. Aroma Ease and then peppermint for some of your older kids. Those would all be choices. They can be applied topically. Once again, dilute them. I'll tell you that tummy jize is already diluted for kids, so you might be totally fine without more dilution of the tummy jize. But it's incredible. I can't tell you how many times these oils were lifesavers for my kids when they were dealing with either constipation or just they ate something that upset their tummies. Just applying topically was really, really helpful for them. All right, Michelle, I saw that you just entered the room again. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Just interrupt me, Michelle, when you are back on. All right, so bedtime and calming. So like I said, diffuser is like one of the best things you can do for your kids at night to help them to calm down, especially if they have a little bit of fear about going to bed, using essential oils, if they're feeling anxious, things like that. These are some of the choices. I would add cedarwood to this list. That cedarwood was my go-to for my daughter, but once again, they're all different. All of these are ones that are very, very common to use with kiddos. So just experiment and have fun figuring out what works the best for your little ones. Another thing you can do, and it's something that my husband has done since the kids were little, because his parents did it for him. He rubs their feet at night. So as we're tucking the kids in, he rubs their feet. And he'll apply an oil and some lotion. And so, yeah, it can be a really special bonding time, I think, that bedtime. And so use your oils to help with that bonding with your children. All right, next slide. Emotions. Guys, there are so many good oils for emotions. And if you are not, let's just talk like on an adult level here. If you're not using oils for emotional support, come on now. Like, it's funny because when we first started using oils, I felt like I was using them mainly for physical support of things as I was discovering the power of them and what they could do. And I feel like now in my life, more so than for physical support, I find myself using them for emotional support. So Valor, Michelle, you good now? I think you're muted.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
We can hear you. All right, let's see. We'll see how it goes.
I moved. I tried a couple different rooms and the connection is just bad, but here we go. I know we're on limited time. So emotions, Andrea, I am with you. It took me a while to kind of just be like, okay, these are more than just physical support. So our girls love the Kid Power. what is going on here? It's like spinning here on my end.
Hear you. We hear you.
Okay.
Can you see the PowerPoint?
I can see the PowerPoint. Sorry, it's just like going in and out here. Valor smells amazing. First of all, so does Kid Power. These two are probably our kiddos' top favorite as far as just what they grab for emotional support. We used, like I said, a lot of them for physical in the beginning, but when I really when I truly was a believer that they work for emotional support for our kids was when my daughter, who was in swim lessons, we used Valor for her. She let's just say it, she hated swim lessons. She hated swim lessons. We did the ISR swim lessons, which is a little bit more of an intense lesson. It's survival swim, so it was a little bit more intense. They were taught how to float in a situation should they be put in that situation. Living in Arizona, there's pools everywhere. And so that was something that we decided we were going to do and see those lessons through. But she would cry from the moment she put on her swimsuit, all the way through the drive through the lesson. And then until we were leaving, she was like in tears. So it was pretty stressful for everybody. But one day I had the bright idea, let's try Valor on her. And at that time, she loved Moana. Moana was her jam. And so instead of calling it Valor, we called it.
No, okay, you're good. You're good. You're good. You're back.
Okay.
Oh, yes, they called it Moana oil. Did you call it Moana oil?
Okay, so we showed up at a lesson. The teacher was a little bit behind schedule, and I decided to use that time instead of just watching her cry for an extra 10 minutes. Let's try some Valor. And so I grabbed the Valor and I called it her Moana oil, and I used it liberally. I put it on her wrists, the back of her ears, the bottoms of her feet, and I spoke life over into her, all of it. And I was like, Vera, this is your Moana oil, and this is going to help you be brave. This is going to help you swim like Moana. This is going to help you be kind to your teacher because she could be nasty. And I was speaking, applying. And then all of a sudden, I swear, you guys, I see just this change in her disposition and the way that she was looking at me. And I was just like, are you ready? And she goes, like, no words, but just like this yes, this confident nod. So we walk back into the backyard to the swim lesson, and she is strutting her head, like her chin is like, I'm not exaggerating either. Like, I'm really not. She walks back there. She puts her arms out to her swim teacher, and even her swim teacher was like, what's happening? Like, what did you do? Beat her? Like, my mom was there too. She can tell this story too. But anyway, I just remember that moment so well, being like, holy cow, like that worked, from going from screaming to not at all. And you know what was really cool? The cool part about this story is that the next day we went back for swim lessons, and she didn't even need the Valor. It was an opportunity to use it for her to see what was already inside of her, what she could do, And yeah, we had to come back and use it after long weekends or here and there, but it just really, we used it at that opportunity, just like I said, let her see what she was already capable of. So we love oils for emotion. Millie loves Kid Power before school, little boost of confidence, peace and calming, and frankincense are amazing as well. All right, next slide. Okay, we got to touch on healthy eyes, ears, and gums, because if you have kids, chances are you've had to deal with this on one occasion or another. So healthy eyes, we see a lot of can I say conjunctivitis? We see a lot of eye swelling, however you want to describe your eyes needing some support. Purification is really a good one for that. Healthy gums. So when those white things start to pop up in your gums, in your baby's gums, our go-to is copaiba. Diluted clove is another really, really good one too. You just want to make sure you dilute that. But I'll put the copaiba on meat specifically for my kiddos, and it helps. I mean, those long nights, those fussy nights, those fussy times, like we'll grab that copaiba, put it directly on, and notice the difference pretty quickly. I also just want to say too, if you're going to be putting something like on your child, like their gums, try it on yourself first, see how it feels. That's always just a good rule of thumb. And then healthy ears. There have been times where our girls, ear pain can be it hurts. Like ear pain is is bad pain. And take a little piece of the cotton ball off, put a couple drops of Melrose or Purification, kind of roll it up and just stick it right there in the wall of their ear and let it diffuse in to help. We have had success time and time and time again with Melrose and Purification for ear support. So real quick too, just don't ever put the oils directly into the ear or directly into the eye. You can do it around, but just that's a no-no. All right, next. Okay, so the Seedlings line, we love the Seedlings line that's formulated specifically for babies, you know, infants and babies. They have all of this. The baby wipes smell incredible and multiple uses for these. Some throw them in the dryer as dryer sheets. Some people use them to remove their makeup. We love them because they're just sensitive. They're great for sensitive skin. The diaper rash cream is amazing. We also use that topically on areas of sensitive skin, not just that diaper area. And then all of it, the massage oil, the lotion is fantastic. And it has a very gentle, calming scent to it. This whole line does. So we love the Seedlings line. And then let's dive into some supplements. So these are all plant-based, no artificial ingredients, no sugar, no preservatives. I know we used to get our supplements from Costco, and you turn that thing over to look at the ingredients and it's wild. So I'm so grateful to have found these supplements. So we take the Mighty Vites, our girls take the Mighty Vites, which is their whole food multivitamin. We take that daily. I even will take some every now and again. They taste really good. Have a sweet tooth, mamas, go grab a couple of those. The Mighty Zymes are the enzymes. So that's going to help the kids break down food and absorb the nutrients that their little bodies need. The Mighty Pro is the pre and probiotic with 8 billion active cultures. Your gut is very important, and a lot stems from your gut if it's healthy or not healthy. And then Unwind. I really love Unwind. I find myself taking it probably more than the kids, but it's a magnesium supplement. Magnesium is really important. It just helps with your relaxation and able to just activate that parasympathetic nervous system. So just kind of winds you down and calms you down. So we love Unwind. I think it has like a watermelon flavor to it. All right, the easy button. So this is great. So Young Living offers this bundle, this like the Kid Sense oils that you need, but they have the roller top. So I don't know about you, but I feel like when I'm trying to get oils on my kiddos, I'm like chasing them down. Like they're always on the go. So the fact that these have roller tops, it just makes it easy for application. And yeah, it's just nice that it comes in this set. Next slide. Okay, subscribe to save. So I know that some of you on here are probably already members, but this is the best way to kind of buy, right? So if you are, this is when you spend your subscription is 50 PV or more, and you can choose the frequency of your subscription. So it can be every 3 months, it can be every 2 months, or it can be every month. It could be monthly, like that's what we're doing. But every 3 months, you're going to be getting that 10% back in loyalty points to spend on more product. Every 2 months, the same thing. And then every month, which is the best choice, you'll be getting that 10% back just on months 1 through 3. And then when you get to months 4 through 24, it doubles to 20% back on each order. And then months 25 and on, you're getting 25% back on each order, which is extremely generous. That's where we are. And I love it because I pressed, submit, get that order going, and then go back and use those points that we've accumulated. It's fantastic. And it's products that we would be buying anyway, but we're getting them for free. So subscribe to save is the way to go. And then if you haven't gotten started yet, this is a great way to get started, the premium starter kit. It's how I got started. I know it's how a lot of others have also. It comes with a diffuser and 12 oils along with some other samples. A lot of the oils that we talked about tonight are on this list. So if you're just like, okay, I want to get oils in my hands, this is a great option. But there are other options as well, and it's heavily discounted too. So if you were going to purchase all of those separately, it would be about $420. But to get this kit, it's heavily discounted to that $165. But what I was going to say, are there other options too? You don't have to get this premium starter kit, but you can get like the Ningxia bundle, right? So if you're wanting to fill in those nutritional gaps, getting that Ningxia bundle would be a great option. The little oilers bundle. So you have options for sure when getting started. Yeah. And then also when you're getting started, to unlock that 24% off discount, that member pricing, there are 2 ways to go about that. So the first way is you can purchase 100 PV on your first order. So this can be with a starter bundle that we just went over, or it can be any combination of products. So if you're just like, all right, I want to try, a couple of these kid oils and maybe the Unwind or the Mighty Bites or something, you can kind of just pick and choose, which is really nice. Hasn't always been that way. So you can customize it for whatever your kids or your family's needs are. So spending 100 PV, that unlocks it. Or you can purchase less than 100 PV and just put them on your subscription. Again, that's your choice if it's 3, 2, or monthly. It's up to you, but as long as you have one item on subscription, then you have that discount. So yeah. And thank you. Wow. I apologize. Technology was crazy tonight. Totally threw me off. But thank you, Andrea and Katie, for stepping.
Hey, no problem. Like, we cannot control
In and
we can't control those things. So thank you so much for sharing all of your insights and wisdom tonight. Loved it. We have I'm going to do 2 giveaways. We didn't get to another question just because of, the craziness.
Yeah.
So I have 2 winners from that original question, and I feel like I'm going to get this name wrong. It was Karis. I'm looking for the spelling of it again. Keris. Karis. And then the second one was Donna iPhone. So I just put, and I hope that I put the right link in there. If this link doesn't go through for you, Karis and Donna, there's a link there. It's a bit.ly link. Grab that link. If it doesn't go through for you, just send me a message on Facebook. I'm under Andrea, Andrea Hamner Lehman, Lahman. Andrea Hamner Lehman, or just have whoever enrolled you can help find me if that link doesn't work for you. But you each are going to get a $20 product credit if you already have an account. If you don't have an account and you're enrolling, we will get you a $20 towards your account. So that's that. Now I want to tell you guys, okay, thanks, Michelle, so much for your part. Please, I hope you will say yes to another class at some point. Don't let the fact that technology was crazy tonight stop you, because you have so much goodness to share and you're a great teacher. So we want to invite you back to teach again some other time. So I'm just putting that out there now in front of everybody. All right, we're going to take 20 minutes right now, a quick 20 minutes to talk a little bit about how you can get your products paid for. So if you're somebody who loves these products and you would actually get more products if you had more income coming in, we're going to share how you can share these products with other people, help people find better health using Young Living, and get a check that will cover your products at the same time. So I'm going to invite my husband, Andy, to join me right now. And we're going to take 20 minutes. So here, let me pull up the PowerPoint really quickly. Hopefully our internet will cooperate. Let me see. Where are we? Share screen. Okay. Awesome. There we go. So I'll just share a little bit of my story really quickly. Our story really, we got introduced to Young Living 15 years ago. This fall, it'll be 15 years since we started using Young Living products, which is absolutely crazy to me. My mother-in-law, Andy's mom, was using them for perimenopause and was having success with them. And she gave us a few bottles of oil for Christmas. And one of them was Thieves. I was a school teacher at the time, picking up everything that would come through the classroom. And she kept prodding me to use the Thieves, for signs of feeling unwell. And so I did. Am I still recording? I meant to stop the recording, but now I'm wondering if I did not stop it. Let me do that really quickly. Stop recording.